Hey, do you see me there? I'm an athlete and I love playing sports. And how about over there? Just checked out that girl that walked by. She's really good looking. And how about over there? I'm no different from anybody else. Hi, my name's Canepa, and I am no different than anybody else. Well, when I was 5 years old, I was in a car accident, and I was lucky enough to come out alive and everything, but with that, I also had to deal with a lot of hardships, being stared at in public, ridiculed very often, and just dealing with the fact that I'm different. So I have to use many coping mechanisms, such as kind of almost having fun with it, making it seem that, I'm different, but I like that. Well, I'll start with what I remember. I do remember that it was a Friday night and that I was at daycare and my dad come pick me up, and I didn't see my dad very often because he always worked between Philadelphia and New York. He was traveling very often. So it was first a very good surprise to see him come picking me up, and second, he said that we were going to go somewhere, but it was a surprise. So I didn't know where it was, so I just kind of sat in the car, tried covering my eyes, trying making it the biggest surprise it could be. And we ended up going to Chuck E. Cheese, a nice little place just where we could just have a father-son kind of time. We stayed there till closing and everything. I remember winning a couple prizes and everything. And then it was around closing, I'm guessing it was between 10, 11, around there. And for a 5-year-old, it was kind of late. So I remember sprinting back to the car and basically just racing him there. Of course, he let me win and everything. You don't want to crush the self-esteem of a 5-year-old. But I remember going in the back seat and just laying down because I was exhausted. And then I almost fall asleep basically, and I wake up on my dad's shoulders looking the other way and just seeing a car on fire and not knowing really what it was. I didn't know how it happened. I just saw that. And then I remember going down the hallway, going to the ER, looking around, just having everyone staring at me. Doctors, I didn't know who was there. They were just all looking at me, saying things, and I still, at this point, was very confused, and I didn't know what was happening. So then I, again, come back into consciousness in the ER, screaming at this point because I lost my patience. I didn't know what was happening. I got past the shock phase and I was more in the worried phase, the panic phase, where I just didn't know what was happening. And I remember seeing my dad next to me and yelling for him, trying to reach for him. And then they gave me a shot to then go to sleep, and then came all the operations. I remember that I had probably 7 operations within the first 4 days. And I was having a lot of just hallucinations at the time, and it was just a very dark couple months, because though I remember parts of it now, it almost seems dreamlike, or in that case a nightmare, because you wouldn't want that to happen to you. So I was being told, that it was an accident, and which to this day is still, we don't know the cause of it. I was being told that my dad was with me, that he was burning everything too, and that he rescued me, which was all true. And then the decision came, the sentence came, and I was told, and it was really shocking. And they just said, it was an accident, it was a mix-up, it'll get cleared up eventually. 1 year passed, another year passed, and just years kept going. Until where I started becoming, between maybe 12, 13, early teenager, they were telling me that his sentence, this time they were saying he'll get out, before they were saying he'll get out soon. This time they're saying it may be longer than we believed, because things were being, very mixed up. It was a complicated situation, and we're trying as hard as we can really to get him out. He was my dad. He and my mom were really at the only ones that mattered in my life. So it was difficult understanding why he would do this, but I knew he didn't. I knew both. I don't remember everything, but he calls me every week, sends me letters every other day, and he's the one who got out, and he also got hurt in the process. So just looking from an outside point of view, seeing those facts, it was obvious that he didn't do it, let alone I was there, and I know that he was the one that got me out. There isn't a day that goes by where I wonder if I would have been, that good-looking kid, or I wonder if I would have just, been unattractive whatsoever. It's just one of those mysteries that I really just would love to know. And people see what I deal with, which is what makes me different, and which makes me want to really reach out and say, some of you might be dealing with either maybe a loss of a family or a disease of some sort, but we can't see that. But you can see what I've been through. So I think that the best way to really help people is showing that I have the most visible representation of what's been going on in my life. So if everyone else can see it and I can live good, then so can you. And I just thought of that message and I said, wow, I can really tell this to people. I can really make people feel better about themselves, and I can really help, maybe they'll spread the same message I do. I just want people, whether it's alcoholics, drug addicts, bullying, any kind of difference, to just feel normal, because no matter what, normal is different through everyone's perspective. But if you can feel what normal to yourself, then you can really be happy. You can really feel comfortable. And once people are comfortable, anything's possible. And I just want to get that message out to people.